Alright, welcome to the Operations with Integers section of the DVD. So, a few things you gotta know before we get started into some actual problems is these definitions here. What sum means, difference means, quotient means, and product. So, if you see the word sum anywhere, sum just means addition, it means to add. Difference means subtraction. Quotient means division. And product means multiplication. Okay? So make sure you have this somewhere in your notes, just so if you hear these words and if you forget what they mean, just refer back to them, okay? Alright, so that's that. Let's just dive right on in. So, the very first problem is going to be something like this. 11 plus a negative 2. Okay? So, again, this is 11 plus a negative 2. So, essentially, how I look at these guys is, again, I like to refer to money. That's going to be a common theme throughout this entire DVD, just because I think people relate to that a lot more, because we use that in our everyday lives. That being said, again, positive is like you have that much. Negative is like debt, or you could think of it as you owe someone. Okay? So let's say you have $11 because it's a positive 11. But then you got this negative 2 here, so you owe someone $2. So you have $11 in your wallet, let's say, and then you owe someone $2. So you open up your wallet and you hand them $2. How much money are you going to have left in your wallet? Okay, so 11 minus 2 would be 9. So you have $9 left in your wallet, okay? So don't worry, we'll try another one. So this next scenario is negative 4 plus a negative 3, okay? So again, this plus is just indicating we're adding, but in this case we got two negative numbers. We have negative 4 and we have negative 3. So in this case, you don't have any money at the moment. So think of it as like your bank account, okay? Let's say you have negative $4 in your bank. And then for overdrawing in your bank account, they hit you with another fee. Boom. You know, banks like to do that. They hit you with another fee of $3, okay? So what's your bank account going to read at this point? Or another way you could think of it is you owe someone $4 and then you owe someone else $3. How much do you owe in total? So one way to look at this, if it's a little confusing at first, because negative numbers are kind of confusing at first, so don't worry. The more you watch this video and the more you experience them, it will become second nature, I promise. So let's say we have a number line here, and in case you've never seen a number line, it's just a line, and we're going to put some numbers on here. So going to the left is negative, going to the right would be considered positive. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3. These are all positive numbers, and it just keeps going forever. And then over here you have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Let me make this a little bit longer. Negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, and so on. The reason I made this side much longer is because we're dealing with negative numbers here. So what you're going to do is you're going to start at this negative 4. So you go over to negative 4, and you can put like a little a little dot above it just to indicate that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go -3 more, okay? And negative is to the left of the line. So you just move over from the -4 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. Where are we at? We are at -7. So what that's telling me is -4 plus a -3 is -7. So essentially you owe someone $7, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. This number line I really like, but eventually you're going to want to be able to do a lot of these in your head just because, I mean, who wants to write a number line every time you do this problem, right? So one trick you could do is if you really like the number line method, you can just on the top of your test, let's say you have a test or even your homework, it kind of looks like this. You can just draw on the very top of your test a number line, just one number line, and constantly use that to help you solve your problem. So just draw one and then, instead of writing all over it like we did here, just, kind of point to it instead of marking it up so you don't have to erase it every time. And that's one way you could do it. Just draw one number line at the top of your test and just use that, or your homework. Alright, so hopefully that problem made sense. And again, if that problem didn't make sense the very first time, that's okay. Just rewind this thing and watch it again. Alright, now we're going to do a little bit of subtraction. So we got -3 minus 5, okay? So now the reason this is considered subtraction is because, excuse me, it's because we got this minus here, we don't have that addition sign anymore. So again, it's the same scenario as the last one. We have -$3, and then for some reason we get hit with a fee or we owe someone else $5. How much money do we owe? Okay? Well, got your number line, pop 0 on there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It just goes on forever. So again, you start at -3. So you're just going to count over, this is -1. The very first tick is going to be -1. So -1, -2, -3. So this is -3. So I'm just writing the numbers that matter to us instead of writing the entire line. And then you're going to go -5 more. So -5 more again is to the left. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all you do is you just count the ticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this guy right here is -8. So what that's telling us once again is this person here owes a total of $8. Okay. All right. So we got 2 minus a -8. Now this guy's kind of cool, and you'll see why. You guys will like this one because this is what's considered here as multiplication. It's a negative times a negative. So whenever you see something like this, a negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, and don't worry, we're gonna go over that soon. I'll draw a little chart for you guys. So what I like to do is when you see something like this, you just, here I'll do it in a different color here. You're going to get multi-colors in here. What you're going to do is you're just going to kind of like connect it like that, and it makes it look like a plus sign. So what you're really essentially doing is you're doing 2 plus 8, okay? And 2 plus 8 is 10, okay? So I like those guys. When it turns just to positive, boom, positive numbers are a lot easier than negative ones. So there you go. So that's the basics of adding and subtracting integers. Now we got to get into multiplying and dividing integers, okay? So I'm going to draw this table before we start. I'll draw it over here, off to the side, and I'll do it in blue. Let's see how we do this. Alright, so I'll draw this little table here. And again, this is something you're going to want in your notes. Definitely want this in your notes, okay? At least in the beginning. Eventually, over time, you'll have it memorized, but okay. So, a negative times a negative. So, and in case you didn't know, this little dot here indicates multiplication, okay? So negative times a negative equals a positive. A negative times a positive equals a negative. A positive times a negative equals a negative. And a positive times a positive equals a positive, okay? So it's a little multiplication table, okay? Now, it's the same exact thing for division, okay? So I'm not going to put two tables up here, but if you have a negative divided by a negative, it's a positive. If you have a negative divided by a positive, it's a negative. A positive divided by a negative, it's a negative. And a positive divided by a positive equals a positive, okay? So I'm going to leave this up here for the rest of this video, so you can reference it. But let's do a problem, okay? So let's say we have, let me change back to black. All right, let's say we got 2 times a negative 2. Now, this is multiplication. When the numbers are like bunched together like that, they look like they're real close, like they're buddies, they're friends, okay? So there is multiplication. So essentially, this is a positive number, a positive 2, times a negative 2. That being said, we look at our chart, a positive times a negative equals a negative. So we know the answer is going to be negative. Okay, so all I got to do is 2 times 2, which we know is 4. Okay, let's try another one of those guys. So let's say we have negative 9 times negative 4. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is I like to figure out the sign of the answer. Is it going to be positive or negative? Well, a negative times a negative times a negative equals a positive. So when it's a positive number, you don't need to write the plus sign. It's just implied. If there's no sign there, it's automatically positive. So then you just got to worry about, so what I like to do is I like to just make those kind of plus signs. So 9 times 4 is 36. And that's multiplying integers. Now, let's do some division. Again, with division, it's the same exact signs as multiplication. So, let's say we have negative 44 divided by, so this is a division symbol, divided by 11. What does that equal? Well, again, negative divided by a positive, negative divided by a positive, we know it's going to be a negative number. And then you essentially got to figure out how many times does 11 go into 44. Well, 11, 22, 33, 44. It's kind of hard, my fingers don't work that well. So 4. So it goes in 4 times. So we know that negative 44 divided by 11 is going to be negative 4. Okay? All right. Let's do one more of these guys. So we got negative 9 divided by negative 9. So a negative divided by a negative equals a positive, okay? Well, it's kind of nice because, again, you just kind of make those plus. Now, if you have the same exact number divided by the same exact number, it's kind of nice because it just equals 1. Because how many times does 9 fit into 9? It'll fit in 1 time, okay? So yeah, a lot of students I notice sometimes will say 9 divided by 9 is 0. It's not 0. So, you know, anything divided by the same exact thing will equal 1, okay? So put that in your notes. All right. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a harder one here, because I know you guys can do this. So we got -2 times 3 times -1 times a -4. And if you see me keep looking over, it's because I got notes. Yeah, I got notes, just like everyone else. You got notes, I got notes, you know. So it just keeps me on track. So perfect. So now this is something, again, to put in your notes. Let's say, you know, here there's 3 negatives, okay? Well, what if there's like, I mean, you'll never have a problem like this, but what if there's like 69 negatives or 80 negatives? Like, how do we know if it's a negative or positive? Well, if there's an even number of negatives, you know, like 2, 4, 6, 8, then the answer is going to be positive, because 2 negatives make a positive, so they're just all going to, you know, kind of make everything positive. If there's an odd number of negatives, then the answer is going to be a negative number. So here we have 1, 2, 3 negatives there. So what do you think that's going to be? You think the answer is going to be positive or negative? Well, 3 is an odd number, so the answer is going to be negative. So now that we already know what the answer is going to be, we don't have to worry about the signs anymore. So you just say, what's 2 times 3? We know that that's 6. And then what's 1 times 4? That is 4. So now we just have, you just keep the sign here. So what's 6 times 4? It is 24. So -2 times 3 times -1 times -4 is -24. Okay. So how I'm going to conclude this video is like this. When dividing, or well, let's start with multiplication. So this is a note, something to note, okay? 0 times anything equals 0. So what does mean, anything? Means you can put any number there. 1, 2, 3, 1,000, a million, -1 million, -10, it doesn't matter. 0 times any number will always equal 0, okay? Now we gotta do dividing. So 0 divided by, so this is another way to put, you know, to write division is with like a bar, okay? So 0 divided by anything equals 0. So again, anything, I mean, it could be 0 divided by 10, 0 divided by -1, it doesn't matter, okay? 0 divided by anything is 0. Now this is the tricky one. Let's say you have anything divided by 0, okay? Now what does that equal? Well, it equals nothing. That can never happen. You can never divide by 0, okay? Never, ever, ever. You can never divide by 0. That being said, just keep that in your notes, because dividing by 0 is bad, okay? So make sure if it's 0 on top, 0 divided by a number is a 0. But if 0 is on the bottom, bad. Alright, so that concludes this portion of the DVD. I'll see you in the next one.